Street Talking Other Stuff, Mad Dog, Mike 90. Thanks for tuning in today. It's always great to have you on this fine Monday in January. And you know, I was talking to a friend of mine last night. So far, so good. Weather has been pretty mild. We've had snow a couple times, but it hasn't had that biting, below freezing, below zero cold. And let's just hope it stays that way. But hey, look. I have got a really good show today. I've had this guest on before, going to have him on again in the future, but this is a good show for you to tune into today. We got some good information, but hey, thanks for being here. Street Talk and Other Stuff. We'll see you in a minute. We'll be right back.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from less.
The new Hummer EV is everything you want in an all-electric vehicle. It's powerful, reliable, comfortable, and will take you anywhere you want to go, on-road or off. Why buy one of those lesser EVs when you can have one that uses them for traction? Order your Hummer pickup or SUV today from Sangster Motors, batteries included.
Okay, we're back again. That's what I said. Okay, first, let me introduce my guest, Mr. Victor Estrada. Victor, hey.
Nice to meet you. Or nice to see you again.
It's always a pleasure.
Yes, it is.
You know, and, I hope you don't mind the nickname I've given you, the Pied Piper of Recovery. I call you that.
No,
I don't.
It doesn't bother me, but it's like I like to tell people, like, I'm nobody special. You know, I just try to bring people to a different place in their lives. Okay. You know. And every time I see that, I just think of the cartoon, you know? It just like makes me think of that, and I was like, oh, it's kind of cute, you know?
All right. Well, I'll think about maybe not using it anymore.
Yeah. No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
Look, give us some background, because I know a lot of people tuning in know who you are, okay? But go ahead.
So just a little bit of background about me. You know, I'm a person in long-term recovery. What that means is I haven't had to pick up or use drugs in 9 years, 9 months, and 11 days.
Congratulations.
Today. Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. Good for you.
A little bit about my background is, I moved to Wenatchee in 2004 and instantly went back to living the lifestyle that I was living. You know, after a couple months, you know, I went from drinking to using, from using to selling drugs, and from selling drugs right to prison. You know. One of our friends, we have a friend, and we had this new little thing that we say all the time, straight to jail, right? And back then I was going straight to jail. So from 2004 to 2014, I was incarcerated 3 times in the prison system.
Okay. So that over a 10-year period, about how much of that was spent inside?
8.5 years.
8.5, okay.
Yeah, so in the 8.5 years, you know, there was using in prison too, so there was never any like specific amount of recovery time or clean time. And in 2014, I got out with this plan that I'm going to change my life. I'm going to be different.
Right.
And that didn't happen for another 8 months. So 2015 is when I finally decided to get clean and stop using drugs. And, ever since then, my life has just been a lot different, a lot better than it was before I stopped using.
Yeah, I see your stuff on Facebook. Okay, follow you. You're one of the people that I see, a couple posts a day, which I think is great. Yeah. But you have made a tremendous difference, not only in your own life, but other people as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so fill me in about, now look, this is no time to be modest.
Yeah.
All right? There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, look, this is what I've been able to do and what I'm doing for people. So go ahead, fill us in on that.
So what I started doing, besides being in a 12-step recovery group, right? 2017, I got connected with this guy on Facebook, on a Facebook page called Can't Go Back, and he was doing these things that just looked like they were just amazing. And I'm like, man, I want to be a part of this. So me and him met up at an event, and he's like, I want to invite you to this other event. And I went to this called Light of Hope event in Tacoma. And it was a candle lighting ceremony, and there was like from parents to kids to lost parent of a lost loved one to a person in recovery, like sharing their stories about addiction. And that led to me meeting she's now a state representative, Lauren Davis, and then Lauren Davis invited me to another event. It was the Washington Recovery Alliance Summit, and I went to that. And when I was there, they had all these different breakout groups, and one of the breakout groups was recovery coaching. And I was like, I'm going to go sit in on this group, and I want to find out what a recovery coach is.
Okay.
And so
this is back 2017.
2017.
Okay.
So 2017. I heard about what a recovery coach was, and I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. That's something I want to do. 2018, me and Lauren Davis were in some conversations back and forth about, we need to start a recovery coalition in your area. So, she's like, get some people together, some people in recovery, some people in the community that would support it. And so we got a group of people together, and we had the drug court judge show up to our first meeting. We had some people from organizations show up, and about, I don't know, I'd say there was about 10 people in recovery there, and we sat down and we talked about, the changes that we wanted to see in our community, and how can we come together and make something happen. And so we all sat down. I want to say it was June 2018, and we talked about forming a recovery coalition, and then we started having monthly meetings. And since 2018, a lot has happened.
Right.
A lot of us became certified recovery coaches. We've had quite a few trainings.
Okay, so to be a recovery coach, there is a training program, and you have a certification for it. Okay.
It's a CCAR, kinetic. I always forget what it stands for, but it's a certified recovery coach training that has different levels of training. Right? They have like the introductory one where you become a recovery coach. They have different ones after that. They have like professionalism. They have the justice system. Sure. They have the emergency department. There's just all these different trainings that and I've taken every single training they have to offer.
Okay.
So. And when we started getting the recovery coach trainings done, like we didn't know where it was going to go, how we were going to get jobs. The NCACH picked up back then at the time. Now they're thriving. They created a position. Me and a friend interviewed for it. My friend got the job.
Right.
And I'm glad he got the job because it's more of a a professional job, right? And in the office, computer work and meetings, and that's not the type of person I am.
Right.
I'm more of the boots on the ground type of person. So my friend,
you're a street guy.
Yeah.
That's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
So.
And so, at the time I was working in the homeless outreach world, and that's when I met you the first time.
Right.
So one of my friend Joey got the job, and he developed a program. We started like, hey, how can we get into the jails? And they got me a job working in the jails, working with people that are currently incarcerated in Chelan County Jail. And it was an obstacle like before because of my past.
Well, I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go to the jail and say, "Hey, I want to come in and start,"
well, I wanted to go in for my 12-step group, right?
Yeah.
And I had caused so much damage with my relationship with the jail from my prior, charges, going into jail,
Really?
getting into fights.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, getting into fights.
Come on, a big guy like you, a softy like you.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't soft back then. That's when I was hard, right? you know, accused of bringing smuggling drugs into the jail, stuff like that, ripping the phone out of the wall when I went to go visit somebody. I was banned from the jail, and so when I was in early recovery, I was trying to go in to carry a message of the 12-step program that I worked, and they would just deny me every time. They would get my application.
They said, yeah, you could come in if you're coming to the booking window, dude.
They didn't even want me in the jail, like at all. Like I was doing good, and I hadn't been in trouble in a few years, but eventually when I got this job working for the county, and Joey like brought it to them, like, hey, this is what we want Victor to do. You know, they finally agreed to let me in.
Oh, good, good. All right.
So I've been doing that. It's coming up on 4 years that I've been going into Chelan County Jail.
And how you get along with them now?
They love me.
I bet they do.
And I love and respect the work that they do as officers. You know, I used to always think of them as the bad guy, right? They're just there to harass me, and I thought the same thing with DOC. You know, from being on DOC But
you always loved police officers, though, right?
No, I didn't, not at all. No, the cops that know me know the tattoo I got on my chest, and I won't even say it on the air because we will probably get a fine. But yeah.
I've heard it, buddy.
Yeah,
okay, you know, I'm there.
So like the cool thing is, like when I celebrated 9 years last year, you know, it was pretty public that I'm very public with my recovery. And we had our jail staff meeting, and at the end of the meeting, Sharp, who's the director there, you know, came in and he's like, "Hey, Victor, we got something we want to give you," you know, and he calls me over to him and he, you know, shakes my hand and gives me this coin. I give him a hug, and he explains to me what this coin is, right? Mm-hmm. This is I cannot remember the name of the coin. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Sure.
But it's a Chelan County Regional Justice Center coin, and he's telling me that they don't ever give them out to anybody. And they presented it to me, and it thanked me for the work that I did, you know, or that I'm doing still to the day in the jail, you know, and it's just like me being incarcerated so many times and getting out of jail, you know, back in the day, it was 5:30 in the morning, or you got out of the annex at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you got absolutely nowhere to go, you know. And the first thing I did was I went to the dope house, right? And you know, because even the plaza was closed, you know, so I couldn't even go buy beer at 3 o'clock in the morning if I wanted to drink. So I would go to a drug house and I would go pick up, and I would start using again. I wouldn't report to DOC, and the next thing you know, 28 days later, I'm back in jail again.
You're back inside, right?
So now with the job that I have, I get to go in there and meet people where they're at. I get to talk about recovery. I get to give them options for when they get released, whether they want to go to detox, they want to go to treatment. You know, they want to get into housing. You know, I take them down to go get their food stamp card. I take them down to get benefits. I take them to go get their ID. Whatever I can do to help somebody, you know, not have to be a part of that, you know, recidivism rate going in and out thing.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, last time you were here, you had, and I've seen this before, you had the hat that said "Make recovery the epidemic."
Yeah.
Where did that phrase come from?
So that came from another WRA event. It was a board retreat, and I was on the board at the time. And we were sitting down at the table, and we were doing some voting on some stuff and having conversations about funding that was going on. And at the time, all the funding was focused on the opioid epidemic. And I think I want to say she was the executive director of the WRA at the time. Mm-hmm. She said, you know, why does it just have to be about the opioid epidemic? She's like, what about the meth epidemic? What about the crack epidemic? You know, what about all these other epidemics that have came before the opioid epidemic? She's like, why don't we focus on all of them? Why don't we make recovery the epidemic? And when you think about that, like, you know, we can make recovery the thing that is stomping out the disease of addiction.
Right, exactly.
So I was like, I'm going to hashtag that on Facebook, and I'm going to run with it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
And then it became I made one T-shirt. One T-shirt turned into people asking me for T-shirts, and then I ended up selling, I don't know, hundreds of them online. You know, people would hit me up on Messenger, Facebook, hey, I want a T-shirt. And I was sending them all over the United States. And then it went from T-shirts to hats to hoodies to beanies to stickers, you know, and then it became overwhelming.
Sure.
And so I did this online thing, and now I can't even get that online thing to work, to like take people's orders. You know, I tried to order some stuff for myself and a friend. Like, he's like, hey, bro, can you order me a hoodie? It's not working on my account. Yeah. So I like went in there and tried to order it. It wouldn't even let me order. So I got to find a new platform because people still ask about them.
Yeah,
you know, it's still a thing, right?
Sure.
You know, people, like I always make these posts, and I'll hashtag make recovery the epidemic, because we still want to see recovery be visible.
Right.
A lot of people in 12-step programs, they practice anonymity, or we're anonymous programs. And for me, my recovery, I can't be anonymous.
Sure.
There's too many people out there dying,
right.
and I think that if we recover out loudly, we give others the opportunity to not have to suffer in silence.
Yeah, well, what I like is when you don't do this all the time, but occasionally you'll say, hey, homies, drop your clean dates here to show other people it's possible. And that's great. I love that,
Yeah, no, it's I do that for people to remember, hey, this is, okay, I'm in recovery, this is my clean date, but it's also for the new people.
Yeah.
To see oh man, look, there's 200 people that commented on Victor's post,
right.
and all these clean dates going back from the 80s all the way up until a couple days before I posted it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it gives people hope, and that's one of my big things is, just inspiring people and giving them just a little bit of hope.
Because when it comes to people staying clean, you celebrate every hour, every day. I mean, it's not just a matter of months and years.
Yeah.
I mean, you give out, I think one of your posts today, you had that baggie full of key fobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those are
what people get in meetings, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And you collected,
And it's just I put it on there, being facetious, right? The best bag.
Yeah.
Because in active addiction, we thought the best bag was the best dope or the best charge.
Okay. Right. Well,
so that's why I did the
a person of limited experience.
Right? Because when I was in active addiction, I always wanted to be the best drug dealer, the biggest drug dealer with the best dope or the biggest bag, And so when I made that yesterday, it was a really huge Ziploc bag with all them key tags in it that we're going to take to meetings so other people can get them.
Cool. Okay.
Right? And I said, I posted it was this is the best bag in town.
Okay.
Okay, we are talking with Victor Estrada. Victor is. Did I look on the mic again? I did. Doggone it. I gotta hold it up here like this. I'm talking to Victor Estrada. Victor is who I call the Pied Piper of Recovery. He's got an incredible story. I brought him here today because I love having people in recovery. I am a sucker for a recovery story, okay? And we're going to talk about bringing hope to more people in a minute, but we need to take a break. So Street Talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
At Highline Homes, we know that kids can come home at any stage of life. Whether your kids are coming home or coming back home, we've got the perfect custom-built home solution for you and your family. Highline Homes has up to 100% financing packages available through our select lenders. View our many floor plans at highlinehomes.com or visit one of our model homes in Oregon, Washington, California, or Idaho. Then you're well on your way to building that perfect dream home for the next phase of your life.
Nice crib.
Nice crib.
Highline Homes. On your lot, on time, built right.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
'Twas the holiday season, and all through the town, people were shopping and driving all around. But every Sunday at 10, you would find them all here at Wine Girl Wines for the Bloody Mary breakfast buffet, football, and beer.
You're invited to experience small-town holidays in iconic Lake Chelan. From local shopping to Santa parades, a getaway visit to Lake Chelan is a great way to make this holiday season special. Learn more at smalltownholidays.com.
Okay, Street Talk and other stuff. Talk with Victor Estrada today. Victor is in recovery. I have got to express my admiration for this man, okay, because like I said on my Facebook post today, we of the straight world do not know the courage and fortitude that you people who have been in recovery have gone through, and I admire you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just I wish. It's incredible. I'm always a sucker for a recovery story because I know, in some limited sense, how difficult it must be. Okay, but we were talking off camera about the change in the drug scene over the course of the years since I've been in police work and your experience. What are you seeing now? What's going on?
Now we're seeing, this new drug. It's not even new. It's it's just more out there. Fentanyl.
Yeah.
Right.
Fentanyl.
So fentanyl. So over the years, like when I started doing drugs back in the '80s, it was coke, right? Coke and PCP in California, and then eventually, it evolved to crack, and then. Meth became a really big thing, and then heroin made its way back, when that was in the 70s.
Yeah, like I was saying, I was surprised when I was doing police work. I was finding people were still doing heroin. I mean, I thought everyone realized how dangerous it was.
Well, heroin became a really big thing back, I want to say, in the mid-2000s when, everybody started doing oxys, right? Doctors were prescribing oxys. The big lawsuits just happened. Money just got resent back to states to help with treatment efforts, and then so when the oxys stopped being made, people started doing heroin, and they became dependent on it. Now we got fentanyl out there, right? And fentanyl is getting even worse. They're cutting it with these different things, xylazine, methylazine. I read another one this morning. I can't even pronounce it, but it's like supposed to be 10 times stronger than the other one, right? And all these people recently, like in the valley, it's like. You see people all the time talk about the homeless situation, right? It's the last couple months has been the train park this, the train park that. Sure. Nothing but drug addicts hang out down there. And you see some really rude comments on there, like they deserve to die when somebody overdoses.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, and it's like you say that until it affects somebody in your family, right? Or I like to tell people is like people in recovery, like you could talk bad about us, but one day we could be that person that's going to save your kid.
Sure.
But it's gotten worse. One of the things that we did as a coalition, and with some help from the ACH, and Thriving, was we ended up getting some Narcan vending machines, right? When we got them placed in different counties, we got one at the Lano Club, there's one in Moses Lake, there's one up in Omak, there's one out in I want to say up closer towards the Spelum. I think there's a fifth one that was just getting put in. The fifth one just got put in Moses Lake Library, right? Because we're focused on Central Washington, not just Wenatchee and like Chelan, Douglas County. But these Narcan vending machines have saved hundreds of lives.
I got a friend that says she always carries Narcan in her purse.
Yeah, I got like about a whole full box in my car right now, and I keep them for when people hit me up and ask me, where do I get Narcan? I'm like, I got some, I'll bring it to you. But the thing is like, because of the work that I do, I get to assist in I get to go to other meetings, right, with the chiefs of police and the Recovery Navigator Program, Department of Corrections. We all meet up and we get to discuss like what's going on out there, and it was about a month ago, there was 10 overdoses in 13 days, right, and there were 10 fatalities
here in
Wenatchee. Yeah. And a lot of people they're starting to ask questions, but over the last 5-10 years. Nobody was asking questions. It's like they want to sweep the problem under the rug.
Right.
Like, oh, this is Wenatchee. We're a beautiful town. We don't want to.
Can I address something which you said earlier about the cause of it? I had a gal on a while back. You know who I'm talking to? Good gal, good family. Got into a car wreck, injured. Okay, it's not that she's not what a lot of the general uninformed, ignorant public think of as a drug addict.
Yeah.
So the reason behind a lot of people's backstories is not always as clear as we would like it to be. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. It's just like the thing like people don't look at me like the way I used to be, right? I mean, I still look the same, still got the bald head, still got the tattoos, just
I think you're a very handsome man.
I appreciate that. My wife thinks so too. Katie, if you're watching right now, I love you. She is. She said she was going to be watching. So, but it's the stigmas, right, that become behind an addiction. The stigmas and stereotypes. Oh, the homeless people or gang members. It's everybody else's fault, but nobody knows about that. That ninth grader that goes to Wenatchee High School that overdoses, or the ones from Eastmont that go to like you would never think that they use drugs, but then you find out that they are.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, there was a gal I talked to in jail when she was 13. Her aunt was getting her high.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to tell you the reasons why. You can imagine. You know, but it's horrific what some people have gone through. And you mentioned yourself, background of people's life, that there's trauma.
Yeah.
And
that's one of my big things that I've been sharing about a lot lately, you know, in the different stuff that I speak about, whether it's a 12-step meeting or I'm speaking in a public setting. You know, I talk about, you know, people don't realize, you know, there's always that argument about, you know, drug addiction is a choice. No, it's a disease. No, it's a choice. No, it's a disease. Well, we're too busy arguing about that. Another person just died.
It doesn't
you know what I'm
matter,
saying?
you know?
And how do we stop people from dying? Is we help them find their way to recovery. You know, and recovery to me is about change, right? It isn't just about going to meetings. It isn't just talking about my drug addiction. It's talking about, you know, what I went through, how I healed from it, and how can I move forward and help somebody else. Recovery to me is action, right? It's just like I don't just go to meetings and think that I'm cured, right? I have to go. I go to meetings on a regular basis. You know, I participate in stuff outside of 12-step groups. You know, I go advocate every year at the state capitol for budget
well, you
spending.
know as well as I do, you're an inspiration to people. Okay, and that's a good thing. You've got leadership qualities, and you've got that responsibility that you're living up to.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't know why I love doing it so much, but you know, I guess I'm passionate. You know, and because I never knew what passion was.
It's your God-given calling.
True, you know, and I do believe that. You know, I tell people that, you know, my higher power found a reason for me to live.
Sure.
You know, because I used to sit in prison and I would pace my cell when I was like doing IMU programs in the hole, and I'd pace my cell and be like, God, is this really it? Is this really it? And I was okay with the thought that I would spend the rest of my life in and out of prison.
Yep.
You know, but then I got here and now I got something different.
Well, you know, it's something that I've followed. Okay, you've gotten married.
Yeah.
You got a gal who loves you, and you have obviously a healthy relationship. And one thing I thought was really cool, this goes back a ways, you took a vacation. Didn't you go to Hawaii?
I went to Maui. Yeah.
What a normal, straight thing to do.
Yeah. No, Maui was awesome. I'm going again this year.
Yeah, and it probably was never anything back that you thought you would do at one period.
I used to think, I used to brag to people like, oh, I've been all over the whole state of Washington. They're like, oh, where'd you go? I'm like, I went to you know, Column Bay. I've been to Walla Walla. I've been to Stafford Creek. And they're like, where's that at? I'm like, well, those are all the prisons that I've been to. You know, and I used to think that was like my life. I used to, and now, I mean, just last year alone, I went to Connecticut. I went to Orlando. I went to D.C. I went to California. You know, on planes. Like, you know, not first class yet. I'll get there one day. You know, but I'm like right behind first class.
I wish you the best.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, life is good today.
Yeah.
Life is.
But you and Katie have been married how long now?
It'll be 3 years next month.
Okay, all
and
right.
We've been together next month will be 7 years we've been together. Yeah. Okay. You know, and neither one of us thought that our lives would be like the way they are today.
Right,
you know, we both came out of addiction, you know, and we both did something different with our lives. You know, we both work in the field of human services, right?
Sure.
We help work, like she helps veterans and I work with people in recovery.
What does Katie do? She works with vets?
She works with veterans for housing and you know, getting them housing and getting them, you know, whatever help that they need to get back on their feet.
Was she in the service herself by any chance?
No, she wasn't.
No, okay.
No. Just happened to have a friend that worked at an organization and I was like, hey, you should hire my wife.
Yeah, cool. Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. So, it's a plan. What would you tell someone? We got like a minute left, okay? Somebody's watching or knows somebody who needs to be in recovery. What are you going to tell them?
I mean, the best thing to do, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, if you're struggling in your heart, like deep in your addiction, you know, get the medical help that you need, right? Whether it's detox or inpatient treatment, you know, and if it's somebody that's just struggling with, you know, how do I stay in recovery, or, you know, hit meetings. You know, that's what I do. I hit meetings, you know, meetings where I can go in, I can tell my truth, I can share what's going on with me, or I can share my experience, strength, and hope, and inspire somebody else to want something different.
Okay.
You know?
Well, Victor, I admire the hell out of you,
I
buddy.
admire you too, man.
Really
Thank you for what you do.
Appreciate it. Thanks for what you do. Keep on doing it. You're a vital part of this community, and I appreciate it. But hey,
thanks, Mike.
Street Talk and other stuff. I thank you for tuning in today. I hope to see you next week. You have a great day. Have a good day. See you later. Bye-bye.
You hit it.
I did.
Thank you, Mike.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.